Hits to the head, spears, and knee on knees. Discipline has been a problem for the playoffs so far. Here to serve his 2-minute penalty is Stephen Brunt. Should the NHL try to clean up the game, or is this just a product of playoff hockey? The Matt Cook hit on Tyson Barrie is a good example, right, Stephen?
Well, the Matt Cook hit is maybe that's in an entirely different category, Wilder. I'm not sure what to make of that one. It's extraordinarily dirty, a dangerous hit, knee on knee, and anybody who knows Matt Cook's history, I guess it shouldn't be surprising it comes from him. That one is not one of those heat-of-the-moment hits that we sometimes associate with the playoffs where emotions are running high. The games, there's so much at stake on every shift that sometimes things boil over. That one seemed premeditated to me, and I guess that's worse. In my books, that's way worse than a lot of the stuff we've seen.
Emotions never run high, like they do in the playoffs. And, some critics say that the refs, they call a different game in the playoffs. If that's true, doesn't it give an unfair advantage to physical teams like the Boston Bruins?
I think that there's some truth to that. I would say referees call a less different game now than they did years ago, when you would get penalties in the first period of a playoff game. In the second period, they would only be coincidental minors, and the third period it was whatever goes because they didn't want to decide the game with a power play. I think referees are more willing to call penalties late. Look at the last Habs-Tampa game. There's a very late penalty in that game, and a power play decided it. They're more willing to call those penalties in crucial situations, but I do think that in terms of physical hockey, the ability to obstruct, to intimidate, to shut teams down physically, I think their teams are given more leeway in the postseason than they are in a relatively meaningless regular season game on a Tuesday night in November.
Moving past the dirty play, Stephen, it seems like the NHL at least has made a lot of progress on concussions in the past few years. If so, what is the league's top priority now?
I think head injuries, because there has been so much publicity, because the knowledge base has grown so much, we understand the implications of head injuries, not just in the moment, not just in a game, not just in a season, but in the lives of athletes going forward. You can blow out your knee and it's going to get better. Even if you can't play hockey again, you'll still have a life. But the implications of concussions and repeated concussions are so serious that I think that's going to be priority one forever. I think the league is going to be more and more diligent and be less tolerant of anything that looks like a headshot.
Just quickly, Stephen, I wanted to ask you about Brendan Shanahan, who recently left the Office of Player Safety to take a job with the Maple Leafs. Should we expect any changes in how the league handles disciplinary cases with Stéphane Quintal taking over?
I think Stéphane Quintal is going to follow very much in the footsteps of Brendan Shanahan. Obviously Brendan Shanahan, one of the hallmarks of his regime were the videos and the elaborate explanations for why discipline was being doled out the way it was. I think Quintal will continue to do that. But remember that really both of those guys, and Colin Campbell, their predecessor, they work for the league. So the tone isn't going to be set by Stéphane Quintal. The tone is going to be set by the head office in New York.
All right. Thanks a lot, Stephen, for all your insight on this. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Walter.